Alright, the Legends event kicks off tomorrow and it has some pretty crazy rewards, and the biggest reward out there, in my opinion, is the 7-star Legend Selector. So what this is it is a selector of 6 exclusive 7-star champions, which are Cap Sam Wilson, Ant-Man, Ebony Maw, Emma Frost, Black Panther Original, and Red Goblin. This is a very interesting batch of 6 characters, and I feel like they're all pretty dang cool and all pretty dang decent, right? So let's go over all 6 of these champions and decide who is the best one to pick out of these 6. So first up is Sam Wilson, and I feel like there are arguments to make him the best option to pick out of here, and I will be picking him personally. I just love the champion so much. So when I saw this, I was like, you know what, Sam Wilson, immediate pick. I just love this character a ton, and I think he is a very solid champion overall. And his biggest issue is his damage output, right? However, as a 7-star, especially a rank 2 one, he should have a lot of attack value overall because he gets a lot of stats, right? The attack rating for a 7-star rank 2 is insanely high, and it should help him a ton damage-wise. So I feel like he will have a lot of use there. Additionally, he does not need to be awakened at all. It is just a nice help. In questing, he is pretty solid there. In Battlegrounds, like I said, he will be a good attacker and a pretty strong defender. Like, a rank 2 Sam Wilson will be so annoying to deal with, especially without a proper counter. And in Alliance War, he has decent value on both attack and defense. He is a pretty solid attacker that usually gets a tactic for him. And additionally, on defense, especially Path 3, he is pretty dang annoying. So Sam Wilson, I feel like, is a great pick overall. In my opinion, he's either the second best pick or the first best pick, and the competition is up next with Ant-Man. Now hear me out. I think Ant-Man, as a 7-star rank 1 and especially 7-star rank 2, will just be a powerhouse. This man has the 23rd highest health in the game, and on Battlegrounds defense, he will have about 230,000 at rank 1 and 290,000 health at rank 2. That is just insane. That is like a total time stall, right? And when you pair that with his glancing, this man is going to be so good on defense, I bet. And of course he has his counters, right? But so does every defender out there. But here's the best part. This man is great on attack as well. This man has so much utility. He is buff, poison, and shock immune, which is just a great set of immunities. Additionally, he has some pretty good poison damage. He has some pretty nice power swings as well. He is just a great standard science character. But here is my issue with him. The science class right now is the most stacked 7-star pool out there. The 7-star science characters are just insane. There is Hulk, there's Titania, there is the Overseer, there's Joe Fixit. There is just so many good science 7-stars right now. And Ant-Man does not compete with like Hulk and Titania. He's more of like that Joe Fixit level, right? But he still is pretty dang good. Like, Ant-Man is still pretty dang solid. And if you don't have a science 7-star yet, then this guy is going to be by far your best pick for the 7-star selector. He will do so much for you. Just, that is my prediction at least, right? Now we have who probably will be the most picked 7-star, which is Ebony Maw. And this man is just a defensive machine. He does benefit a ton from Awakening for defense, but still is pretty good on defense, even unduped. And he is an okay attacker. He does have some pretty nice damage output, but his utility is a bit lacking. His rotation is a bit like stressful. I feel like on attack he just really isn't all that, but maybe as a 7-star that'll change. But yeah, he's pretty much just all in for the defense. His questing value is just okay. His Battlegrounds value is just mainly towards defense. His Alliance War value is also just towards defense too. So you can just like take him for the team and pick him for your Alliance War defense if you want to do that. But yeah, overall, Ebony Maw, I just see him as mainly a defender still these days and won't see too much use attack-wise, and I feel like there are just better attackers in the selector. Now, Emma Frost is pretty dang cool. I feel like she is no longer a defender, but just a pretty nice old gem. Her awakened ability is mainly for defense, which she doesn't really like do that well these days, so it isn't really important. Her questing value is still pretty dang good because of her immunities and her pretty solid damage output. Her Battlegrounds value on attack should be pretty good, and on defense might still be good as a time stall with her diamond form, but besides that, I won't see too much use for her overall, because if you know how to play against her with like her telepath form and all that, then she won't be too hard to like fight because she has a very low health pool, right? But like I said, still some use on defense as a time stall and still like some pretty good attack value as well. So overall, I feel like she is a good pick still for sure. And now we have Black Panther, and Black Panther here really does want to be awakened because what it does is it gives him more defensive ability accuracy reduction and also gives him a very strong Purify. And at max sig, it is just so strong. So he does want max sig for sure. And being unawakened, he just doesn't have any of that, right? So it kind of does stink. And unawakened though, he still has some use as a quester. His bleeds are still very strong. He is a great damage dealer, but he'll just have very minimal utility, I feel like. And in Battlegrounds, he'll be a very strong damage dealer, but just not really anything good utility-wise. So he'll just be an okay attacker and also no defensive value either. And in Alliance War, just pretty much no use there. So yeah, Black Panther, a very fun champion, still has a ton of damage output too. Will be a very fun attacker for sure, but just won't be the most like utility-filled attacker. He'll just be for fun and for damage output. Still a pretty awesome character, still very fun to play like I said, and just is super cool, man. He is just so cool, but I wouldn't really say he is the best pick out here for sure. And last and pretty much least is Red Goblin. He does want to be awakened for sure. It is a massive help for him. His questing value unduped is just okay. His Battlegrounds value unduped is just okay, and he has no defense either. And in Alliance War, he just has no value. So this man is he's kind of just here. If you like him, he is a great pick, but if you don't like him, he is just probably the biggest miss here in my opinion. Still has some use as a damage dealer, but he is still missing a lot when he's unawakened. There's just a lot that he's missing. And overall, I just wouldn't suggest it to anyone. And it kind of stinks because the Cosmic class in the 7-star pool is still the worst one right now. So this just didn't help it at all, which kind of does stink. But thankfully, there is Hyperion in the Titan pool that will be out soon. But yeah, this is just a bit unfortunate. I wish that it was something else or like someone who didn't rely on their signature ability so much. But yeah, Red Goblin, he's just an okay pick. I wouldn't suggest it at all, but if you like him, then go for it. All these characters have some use of sorts, but Red Goblin is just my last place pick because he does want to be awakened for sure, and unduped, he just doesn't really offer too much, I feel like. But yeah, all these champions are just pretty dang cool. I think that the best pick out there is probably Ant-Man, or like if you have a good science character already, then probably Captain America Sam Wilson. But it really just depends on your roster. If you don't have like a good mystic character, pick Ebony Maw. If you're missing a good tech character, pick Sam Wilson. If you're missing like a good science character, then the best pick by far is Ant-Man. I feel like they're all pretty dang sweet. Emma Frost, Black Panther, still some pretty awesome picks too. Red Goblin still just, I feel like a bit of a letdown unawakened. So yeah, there is that. Like he's the only dud I feel like, but even unawakened he might be like still good, who knows. But yeah, I feel like they're all pretty dang cool at the minimum. And yeah, who are you picking? That's the important question here. And yeah, that's about it for me.